Most people believe saving money is responsible. They are told it is the adult thing to do, the safe thing to do, the smart thing to do. From childhood, the message is drilled into their minds. Work hard, spend less than you earn, and put the rest aside. If you save consistently, you will be secure. If you're patient, you will be rewarded. But what if this belief is not just outdated, but actively harmful? What if saving money in the modern system is not a path to safety, but a guaranteed way to lose? Does this sound familiar? Haven't we heard this promise before, repeated generation after generation, as if it were a universal truth? If you are saving cash today, you are not protecting your future. You are volunteering to have it quietly extracted from you. And this is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because the system you live inside was not designed to reward savers. It was designed to use them. The same way many systems throughout history quietly depended on the patience of the many while benefiting the few. Most people sense this instinctively. They feel it every time prices rise faster than their income, every time their savings buy a little less, every time they look at their bank account and realize that, despite years of discipline, they are no closer to real security. They blame bad luck. They blame politicians. They blame inflation as if it were a natural disaster. But inflation is not a storm. It is infrastructure. And once you understand how it works, the illusion of saving collapses completely. Think about past crises for a moment. In 1929, people did everything they were told was responsible. They saved, they trusted, they waited. How did that end? Different century, same pattern? Do you see the echo? To understand why saving money is a guaranteed loss, we need to abandon the comforting idea that money is neutral. Money is not just a tool for exchange. It is a system of incentives, penalties, and power. And like any system, it rewards certain behaviors while punishing others. In the modern economy, saving cash is one of the most heavily punished behaviors there is. History did not change this rule. It simply changed the language around it. When you deposit money into a bank, you believe you are storing value. In reality, you are surrendering control. Your money does not sit safely in a vault waiting for you. It is immediately absorbed into a system that depends on constant expansion. Banks do not take deposits and lend them out later. They create new money when they issue loans. Your savings do not fuel the system. They anchor you inside it. And while you wait patiently, believing time is on your side, the value of what you saved is quietly eroded. Does this remind you of older empires, where coins were slowly diluted while the citizens were told nothing had changed? The mechanism looks different today, but the logic is identical. This erosion does not happen evenly. It does not happen fairly. And it does not happen by accident. New money always enters the system somewhere specific. It flows through channels that are invisible to most people, but devastating in their effects. Those closest to the source of new money benefit first. They spend before prices rise. They acquire assets while they are still cheap. They protect themselves before the consequences arrive. Those farthest from the source, wage earners, savers, retirees, experience the effects last. By the time the damage reaches them, it is irreversible. Ask yourself honestly, where are you positioned in this flow? Are you at the source or at the very end of the line? This is why saving feels like running on a treadmill that never stops. You move, but you never advance. You sacrifice today for a tomorrow that keeps receding. And the more disciplined you are, the more exposed you become. Because the system does not reward patience. It exploits it. This is not new. It is as old as centralized power itself. Consider what happens over time. Inflation does not need to be dramatic to be destructive. It does not need to explode overnight. Even low, steady inflation is enough. A few percent per year sounds harmless. But compounded over a decade, it silently dismantles purchasing power. Over a generation, it cuts it in half. And while this process unfolds, you are told everything is normal, healthy even. You are encouraged to focus on interest rates, savings accounts, and long-term plans, while the foundation beneath them is being deliberately weakened. Have we not seen this before? In Rome, in post-war Europe, in every system where money slowly lost its meaning before society realized what was happening. Saving money assumes one critical thing, that money itself is stable. But modern money is not stable by design. It is meant to lose value. It must lose value. The entire system depends on it. Governments carry debts so large that they cannot be repaid honestly. They can only be managed through dilution. By reducing the value of money over time, they reduce the real weight of what they owe. This makes inflation politically safer than taxation and far more effective. The cost is spread across everyone holding cash, quietly and continuously. This is why savers always lose. Not because they are foolish, but because they are playing a game whose rules were written against them. They believe they are opting out of risk, when in reality they are absorbing it. They believe they are being conservative, when in fact they are being harvested. Does that word feel uncomfortable? It should. Meanwhile, the system openly rewards the opposite behavior. Borrowing is encouraged. Debt is normalized. Asset ownership is privileged. Those who take loans to acquire real assets benefit twice. First, by controlling something tangible, and second, by watching the real value of their debt shrink over time. Inflation works for them. It works against you. Ask yourself again, who is praised in this system and who is quietly punished? This creates a deep and dangerous illusion. People believe wealth is created through discipline alone, through budgeting, restraint, and patience. But in reality, wealth in this system is created through positioning, through proximity to money creation, through understanding how value moves, not how it is stored. Those who grasp this accumulate assets. Those who do not accumulate balances. And balances are the most fragile form of wealth there is. History repeats this lesson endlessly. We just change the names. Saving money feels safe because it is familiar, because it requires no confrontation with the system itself. You can save without questioning anything, without challenging how money is created, who benefits from it, or why prices behave the way they do. Saving allows you to believe that the system is fundamentally fair, and that your reward will come in time. That belief is comforting, and it is exactly why it is so dangerous. Because while you wait, the system does not. It moves relentlessly. It reallocates value upward. It transfers purchasing power away from those who hold cash and toward those who hold assets. It reshapes society not through force, but through incentives. Over time, entire generations internalize this reality without ever being told. They feel compelled to speculate, to borrow, to chase returns. Not because they are greedy, but because saving no longer works. This is not an accident. It is not a side effect. It is the engine. And engines do not stop unless something breaks. The most painful part is that savers are often the most responsible people in society. They plan, they delay gratification, they think long term. And yet, these are precisely the qualities the system punishes. Because a system built on perpetual expansion cannot afford widespread restraint. It needs constant participation, constant spending, constant borrowing. Saving represents resistance, and resistance must be neutralized. History shows this pattern again and again. That is why interest on savings rarely keeps up with inflation. That is why safe returns feel increasingly irrelevant. That is why people who did everything right still feel left behind. They are not unlucky. They are structurally disadvantaged. Once you see this, the moral narrative around money collapses. Poverty is no longer simply a failure of discipline. Wealth is no longer simply a reward for hard work. Outcomes are shaped by access, timing, and structure. And saving cash places you at the weakest possible position within that structure. This realization is uncomfortable. It forces you to question advice you have trusted your entire life. It forces you to accept that the rules you were given were incomplete at best and misleading at worst. But this discomfort is necessary, because without it, you remain trapped in a cycle that cannot produce the security it promises. Saving money is not evil. It is not foolish. But in isolation, in a system designed to erode monetary value, it is insufficient. And when it is presented as the primary path to safety, it becomes a lie. The real danger is not that people save. It is that they believe saving alone is enough. That belief keeps them passive. It keeps them compliant. It keeps them focused on small personal sacrifices, while the larger forces shaping their future remain untouched. Understanding this is the first crack in the illusion. It does not tell you what to do next. It simply removes what no longer works. And that is a powerful thing. Because once you understand why saving money is a guaranteed loss, you are no longer playing defense. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer mistaking patience for progress. Before you move on, ask yourself this. If saving was the solution, why has it failed so many times before? If discipline was enough, why did entire generations lose everything while doing the right thing? And most importantly, where are you standing in this system right now? In the next video, I will show you why, even when you work harder and earn more. Your salary always arrives too late, and why this delay is not a coincidence, but a feature of the same system that punishes savers. History has answers. I merely show you where to look. And if this deep financial journey has given you a new perspective, like the video and subscribe, because the real story begins the moment you recognize the system you're living inside.